Even Floyd, like when you make yourself like we got issues on your anger, he's still the best fighter out there. Until somebody beat him, that's who he is.
You think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah, that's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
And it took been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like within lifestyle, that money's gone, trust me. Now it's like, you call him, he'll be at your local hosting in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
Wow.
Are Floyd's comments potentially in breach of contract? He could blow the whole fight up and never fight, and also have taken a cash advance on the fight he may not ever have. He's broke! I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Floyd is so badly hurting for money that this is the stuff he's doing. Knowingly signing contracts for a pro fight just to go and publicly undermine it while taking a cash advance. Essentially,
Floyd Mayweather is now under serious money pressure as reports say the IRS has placed a lien on his assets for unpaid taxes totaling about $7.3 million from 2018 and 2023. Mayweather is being targeted by the IRS over unpaid taxes, with some of his properties and assets being held under lien until the full amount is paid, and if not, those assets will be taken away completely. This news comes from Business Insider, but is also now being shared by Ring magazine, which revealed that the IRS has filed a lien against Mayweather in Las Vegas, currently freezing his Vegas property due to unpaid taxes from 2018 and 2023 that have now grown to $7.3 million. This is not just a small issue made to look bigger than it is. This is the government officially stepping in and locking down property in Las Vegas until the debt is cleared, and if it is not, those assets could be seized. /,
Absolutely.
You think he wants a rematch?
Look, another reason why he's crawled out of his rock, he needs money.
You think he needs money?
Absolutely.
He's always flossy.
It's absolutely, he needs money.
You think he's going
Once
broke?
Again, come on. Fighters like that always go broke.
He's always spending, so I guess.
Absolutely. Look, he's not fighting anymore, so that big money's not coming in. Look at what happened to Mike Tyson. He made what, $500 million?
Right.
You think you can't spend $500 million overnight? Absolutely.
You can't.
What makes the situation more worrying is the timing, because it comes right when Mayweather is already facing questions about his business deals and his upcoming fight with Manny Pacquiao.
Mayweather's broke. I said, no. He's like, no, really. Mayweather's broke. Now, I don't know if it's true.
Right.
This is what this guy told me. I'm like, how could he be broke? He's like, yo, he spends like crazy.
Yeah.
Spends like
I
crazy.
mean, it only could go but so long. I mean, and you're not fighting.
Yeah.
Because I don't see Mayweather even doing any goofy like
But you would think that your investments would continue to grow.
Right.
As long as you keep your spending.
What makes this situation more worrying is the timing, because it comes right when Mayweather is already facing questions about his business deals and his upcoming fight with Manny Pacquiao.
Is that what he's feeling? But he signed a real fight.
So it's for sure.
Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight.
Real fight. Okay. Yeah, because I know he said.
I want to fight an exhibition.
No exhibition. It's either real fight or nothing.
Yeah, it's a real fight. Yeah.
Is Fear still in Las Vegas?
That's the contract that he signed. I mean.
Yeah. Okay, so it's still happening then.
He has to remember that.
But it's still on. It's still happening.
Oh yeah, we did sign the contract already, so there's no reason why.
Why would it?
On top of that, several Mayweather gyms have reportedly closed because of unpaid staff and rent problems, with Pacquiao even stepping in to buy one of the locations and change its name. Workers allegedly left after not getting paid, which adds another level of worry about how things are being run.
Mayweather says that he suffered enormous financial harm and is missing at least $340 million from a reported $1.2 billion that he actually earned in his professional fight career.
Oh my goodness. 340? Who I got to swing on?
I mean, Ocho, that's in addition. So he's reporting that they boosted, however they did it, 340, but he earned 1.2. So that's 1.5.
Now you have many parties involved, including the IRS business partners and investors, all possibly looking for answers at the same time. For someone who built his whole image on wealth and money management, this situation directly attacks that reputation.
Boxed everybody. I boxed everybody, and it's so crazy. Like, I had a lot of great days, I had a lot of bad days in the gym. But I tell them I never have bad paydays.
Dimitri Salita told me a story that one time a big heavyweight, a known heavyweight, challenged you. You told Leonard to go get your bag, and you dropped him with the body shot.
In a boxing gym, it don't count. You can have good days, you can have bad days. A lot of times guys do good in the gym. They be happy. They feel like if you done good with Floyd Mayweather in the gym, I want a world title, Well, you got to really look at this now. Slow down. You go home to an apartment. I go home to a palace. There's a difference.
Now, Floyd.
When you say your name, when they say these fighters' names, they say thousands and millions.
The silence from Mayweather and his legal team only adds to the confusion because there are many moving pieces here and none of them look easy. Whether this gets solved quietly or becomes a bigger legal and money fight, it is clear that this is one of the most serious problems Mayweather has ever dealt with outside the ring.
IRS. How much does he owe? It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this, he makes so much money, there's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats.
And just when everything around Floyd starts looking like a paperwork storm ready to explode, Bradley jumps in, and instead of panicking, he basically says, wait, this might actually be business moving exactly how Floyd wants it to move. Bradley is not defending the situation without reason, but he is explaining it from a fighter's point of view, saying those upfront payments are leverage if you set it up the right way. He is suggesting that if Floyd got money in advance and locked it in a certain manner, then changing from a real fight to an exhibition might not be a mess, it might be a plan.
Mayweather did that, but you can. You can put a non-refundable attachment on this and be like, all right, hey, I need an advancement for training. I need $3-4 million or whatever for training expenses. And if they agree to say yeah, and he put in a contract that is non-refundable,
And I'm sitting here thinking that is the most Floyd thing possible, because while everyone else sees confusion, Bradley is suggesting Floyd might already be 10 steps ahead, handling duties, clearing pressure, then changing the terms to fit his current reality, which is a 50-year-old fighter not trying to go to war unless it makes perfect sense. But here is where it gets tricky, because even Bradley admits that if you sign for a real fight, then you sign for a real fight, and you cannot just rewrite that in the middle of the story without facing the results.
It's basically free money. So we know, Mayweather was, it's been reported, I should say, allegedly, that, he's been, a little upside down on some of his taxes and some of his properties. And he needed to come back and fight and take care of that. Well, he got some cheese from that event.
Now you have this tension where Floyd could be acting like a business person, but the system around him still expects a fighter, and that conflict right there is where things can get messy. Bradley even hints that Floyd might have already taken care of some of those money problems with that upfront cash, which flips the story again, because now it is not desperation, it is smart movement. But at the same time, the outside pressure is not going away, as the IRS contracts and partners are all watching closely. So now the question is not just what Floyd wants to do, but whether he can actually shape everything around him to fit that plan, and knowing Floyd, you cannot count him out.
That money he received, I'm pretty out, man, damn it, I don't know for sure, but damn it, I'm probably about, I know I'm 85, 90%, I'm telling you, because I don't think he'll be doing this. This is business. So he's just saying, I understand it was a real fight, but now I want to change it. I want to change it now. I got my advancement. Now I want to change.
And just when Bradley is over there breaking everything down like a business seminar, here comes Shane Mosley with a completely different energy. Not contracts, not percentages, just straight fight truth, and it hits differently because this is a man who has actually been in the ring with both of them. Mosley is not giving a loud prediction, he almost sounds unsure, like he knows too much to speak with too much confidence, and that is what makes it real. He says plainly, look, Floyd is not the same guy, physically maybe a step slower and maybe easier to hit now. And right away your brain thinks, okay, so Manny has a chance. But then he flips it and brings up Pacquiao possibly having his own issues, training problems, and now it is like, wait, so both guys might be not at their best. That is when this fight stops being about who is better and starts being about who is less worn out. And I like how Mosley breaks down their styles again, like he is reminding you what made this matchup so tricky to begin with.
Back in the day, so you know, maybe he's a little bit older and he's not moving as much, and you know that when you get a little bit older, sometimes you don't have the same foot movements like that, and you're able to get hit with certain shots. So maybe Manny has a chance to get in there and do some stuff, but Manny also has some seem like some complications with I don't know if he had some kind of stroke or something in the sparring with that. I thought I seen. So, I mean, there's stuff going on with him too as well. So, you know.
Manny brings that non-stop pressure, that chaos, and that constant attack, but Floyd is the guy who solves problems during a fight like he is doing math in the ring. And when Mosley says Floyd was the harder fighter to deal with, but Manny was the stronger puncher, that tells you everything in one sentence. One guy breaks you down mentally, and the other tries to overwhelm you with force. Then he casually shares that moment when he hurt Floyd, and you can feel it, like even now he is thinking, man, if I had my legs that night. And that is the thing about Mayweather. You get one chance, just one, and if you do not take it, it is gone forever. So now apply that to today with older versions, slower reactions, and less room for mistakes, and suddenly this rematch does not feel like leftover business. It feels like a completely new fight with familiar names, and that is what makes it tricky, because we keep remembering what they used to be, but this fight is about what they still are.
Okay. As far as, you know, his IQ. You know, he had a better IQ, but Manny had a harder working, you know, repetition, where he'll come at you, he's working hard, he's trying to get you. Whereas Mayweather is more technical.
And just when Mosley is breaking this whole thing down like a business guide, here comes Manny Pacquiao with the calmest delivery you can imagine, and somehow it hits even harder because there is no hype and no noise, just quiet sureness. Manny starts off talking about humility, discipline, and faith, and you think this is going to stay thoughtful. And then boom, he moves right into the real issue, basically saying we signed a real fight, he got his advance, so what are we even talking about? And I'm sitting here like, that is the cleanest pressure you can apply, with no insults, no drama, just facts repeated until they become awkward. Because while everyone else is debating possibilities, Manny is treating this like it is already done, like there is no version of reality where this turns into an exhibition without looking like a step back.
As a boxer, I don't need somebody to push me to work hard, work more, but I did. I was put that in my mind when I'm in training. I have to do extra mile to.
Then he doubles down in that same tone with no excuses and no confusion, just a straight line, and that is what makes it dangerous, because you cannot really argue with someone who is not emotionally tied to the debate. And at the same time, he talks about pushing himself in camp, doing 30+ rounds a day, and preparing like this is a real battle, not a show. And that contrast right there is loud without him raising his voice once. On one side you have changes, talks, and possible plan shifts, and on the other side you have a man saying, I am training for a fight, period. And that is when it changes, because now it is not just about contracts or money, it is about who is actually ready for the version of the fight that was agreed to, and Manny is making it clear he is already there.
Of exhibition that was long time ago, year after our first fight, but I didn't agree with it. And then I want a real fight. So he signed what I signed. He signed a real fight, and I signed a real fight. And he got his advance. So.
And when you take all of this together, it does not feel like one story anymore. It feels like layers piling on top of each other until you cannot miss what is really happening underneath. On one side, you have the money pressure, the IRS problem, the contracts, and the business side closing in, with all of it raising serious questions about what is going on behind closed doors. Then Bradley steps in and flips it, making you think, wait, what if this is not confusion, and what if this is planned? What if Floyd is still playing the same chess game he always has, just at a different point in his life? And just when you start leaning that way, Mosley comes in and pulls everything back to reality, reminding you that no matter how smart the business moves are, the body still has limits and speed still changes. And this version of Floyd is not the same one who built that untouchable image years ago. Then Manny walks in calm and steady, not even trying to win the argument, just stating facts like they do not need any backup, and suddenly the whole situation becomes even more awkward. Because now it is not about who is right or wrong, it is about who is actually standing by what they signed up for.
Yeah, I mean, he signed a real fight, and he got his advance. So then now makes excuses.
Alright everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.